Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch, veteran-run podcasts, along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, I don't know what's going on with that, but okay, you want to keep telling me I'm here, here I am. Hey, it's MJ. I know it's not Cousin It today. No, it's not. So thank you all for that little break that I had to have. And because I had to have that little break, I have a special guest in our waiting room, and it is my master, my Hierophant, and I love to call her my sister. And her name is Kim Maly, Reverend Kim Maly, and she has the company Going to Kim's. I brought her in here today because if anybody knows my story, I had a little head issue. And so today it was scheduled to be breath work. Well, breathing right now is a little bit hard for the ears and for the sinuses for me. And who better to teach it than the person who taught me? Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of ways to breathe, right? There's a plethora out there, either religional based or whether it is just on a physical attribute to heal base. Lamaze class. Come on, ladies who are pregnant out there, daddies who went to that, you know that breathing, right? To help assimilate. So when we talk about breathing exercises, it's such like a deep breathing. It's diaphragmatic. It means it's down here, right? And your diaphragm. Or you could do box breathing, can help people who have experienced trauma to cope with, stress and other symptoms that you have. Breathing can also help calm like our nervous system down, the process of our memories. But also can release that tension that we get built up. Our folks who see red, right? The first thing they say is breathe, right? Telling people to calm down. I don't care if you see red or have anxieties is never going to help. Calm down. You're just making it worse. So we go breathe. Just breathe. Even if you can get them to slow they're anxious by their nose, to breathe out by their chest, hold it, however it is. We're going to get a little bit more in depth. That's why I brought Kim, because me doing too much of that is no bueno. So So we're not going to do that. We're going to let Kim breathe for you today. And we're going to get into different techniques that is out there. Again, as we move through our body systems with Miss Kim, it's not a religion. It's not. And it's not a practice of, one like Western, Eastern, holistic, medicinal, whatever. It is just breathing. If it helps, good for you. If it doesn't help, then find another different pattern of breathing. Some of these are very dramatic and some of these are funny to the hilt. But when you need to use them, we're not going to laugh, right? Because that is where we heal. So just know there's a lot of different breathing techniques out there. Breathing can also calm and release tension that we have pent up that energy. So when we get angry, we get frustrated, we have that pent up angry. And then we can also help people intervene when they're feeling emotionally hijacked or emotionally heightened to prevent like any of those instances from happening within us to calm. Right? Taught you about the thymus, how we tap our thymus, right? And we have to breathe that out and tap it. So here we have this where we're like, okay, now we can tap. And I tell you guys, tap and breathe, right? In your nose. But now we can tap to try to pull us out. We can do the squirrel thing, right? Oh, how about those Dodgers? Oh, how about those Yankees? Oh, how about whatever, right? Oh, how about that Simone Biles? That little girl, what a power. Anything to squirrel it, to come out of that red zone. That's what we're after. So that's it. So today with the breathing, it's going to help us with the physical effects of trauma, such as deactivating that like fight. It's the flight or fight response that we normally have, especially veterans. Our first defense is pow, right? That's our first defense is come at me calmingly, but we're either going to fight or flight. We know this, right? Other people, you might not know that fight or flight response. You just might know that you're just angry and you have to do something. And so that's like kind of the conditioned pattern of man of how that trained your brain to interact. When we know we've healed, we don't need these techniques. We just look at it going, wow, that's on your energy. And not being egoic enough to say, what's my part of this? We have to always remember that, right? So even though we're going to give you these techniques, please remember there's a whole bunch of little inserts that goes around in it. And it's not just about breathing. But breathing is one of those modalities. And the studies have shown that breathing-based meditation can help decrease amounts of symptoms and post-traumatic stress disorders, especially with our U.S. military people, is that breathing. It's important. So all of you out there who are going through the therapy with the therapist, especially with PTSD, they're making you breathe, right? You're out there going, yeah, MJ, we breathe. No, it's not that. It's truly, you need to not just be passive about that breathing. That breathing is utmost important. It really is. And it helps us, especially when we start seeing that red zone. If you already start that breath work and one of these techniques, hopefully it'll break up that systematic filing that we have. Just kind of pick one and see, is it here? Is it here? Where is this PTSD? Is it in my root chakra? Okay, so those who don't know about the chakras, I know I'm talking fast because we got a lot to get to today. So the chakra patterns, we start with the first chakra. Our first chakra is root. And then we go to the second, which is our sacral. Then we go to the third, solar, right? Then we go to the fourth, which is our heart. The fifth is our throat. The sixth is our third eye. And of course, our beloved God, which is our crown, who we can source, Almighty God, through our crown, right? So these are the 7 different breaths that we're going to take today because we don't know where we're stuck. And if you don't know enough about the metaphysical sides of our centers that connect us to our 12 physical centers and our physical being, maybe you might learn something with these breath works, and maybe it might deactivate that PTSD stressor or emotional trauma that we can't unblock with just normal breathing. Because just normal breathing sometimes isn't going to just help, right? We got to know different formats. So breathing techniques or panorama breathing, right, can also balance and activate our root chakra. It's also called the Madhara, in the chakra and yoga. So as we start to get these fundamentals, we're going to get Kim on, and I'm going to get her up on the screen, talk to her a little bit about who she is, what she's done, where she's at, and what she does currently. And then we're going to get into these breathing techniques. But first, we're going to go to a commercial. And then when we come back, I'll have Kim, who is beautifully waiting in our waiting room, back with us. And then we're going to dig deep. So you ready? Get your coffee, get whatever you need to get at this time, and let's get busy. Here we go. We're going to go to, one of our new sponsors for MBR Radio is J&J Beard Company. So we're going to go ahead and go to J&J and see what they're about, going straight to LTD Tactical, and then we'll come right back to the studio. Talk to you. Peace out. This is MJ. We're here with MBR Radio.
Introducing J&J Beard Co., your go-to destination for high-quality handmade and natural beard products. Our family-owned business, based in New Jersey, prides itself on using the finest ingredients to bring you premium products that will elevate your grooming routine. Each product is carefully crafted with love and expertise, ensuring that you get the best care for your beard. Treat yourself to the luxury of J&J Beard Co. and experience the difference that true quality and craftsmanship can make for your beard. Join the J&J Beard Co. family today and unleash the full potential of your facial hair with our exceptional products. Find them on the web at jjbeardco.com. That's jjbeardco.com. Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield. Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily...
I have no idea why that's doing that, but hey guys, in the back end, ours are repeating and repeating. So, yep, here we go. Welcome back. And here we are. We're going to bring Kim up next. And hey, big dog, I see you over there. Thanks for coming in. And let's get Miss Kim up to the stage. Here we go. Hey, Miss Kim, how are you?
Hey, MJ, I'm doing well today. Thanks for having me on.
I know you're on vacation out in the little island there, and where, Hilton Head or something?
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you. I mean, I can tell, like I always talk about you being one of my masters and just graciously and humbly taking me to my next level to where I can flip easy patterns. Can you just explain who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Kim, and I am originally from PA, moved to Jersey. I've been in Jersey now for over 34 years. And I started this journey back in 2008 with classes. Before that, I always knew there was something different. And I took a host of classes with my master teacher, Ida Diaz. And when I graduated light therapy, my career for the U.S. is a speech language specialist in the public school systems. And when I decided to retire, I didn't know what I was going to do. And I decided that, you know what? I'm going to do Reiki, and I'm going to help people clear their past life patterns. And you graciously owned Esmeralda's and invited me down to teach a class. And at the time, I didn't really want to be a teacher anymore after teaching for 32 years. But as divine would have it, I am a teacher at trade. That is my soul's mission. So I jumped over the ledge, and I have been teaching light therapy courses, chakra courses, pendulum usage courses, ever since I started going to Kim's in 2020. And I'm passionate about clearing past life patterns and helping people cut ancestral lines. And I just love teaching. So I grabbed a hold of it, and now I'm teaching on the spiritual level. So
I love it. So in part of your classes that you teach, not just light therapy, you also teach the chakra classes, right?
correct. Mm-hmm.
And in those chakra classes, there is 7 different breath modalities that you all do.
Correct.
Right.
That is
So,
correct.
right. So understanding that, I want these people to know that if you're watching and you know Miss Kim, because there's a lot of students of Miss Kim's out there, please understand that we are trying in this particular course today, right? This podcast to help trauma PTSD. I'm well aware that they're not going to match ISO specifically to chakras, and there's different points of religional base breathing that goes with it that you were taught. Am I correct by saying that, Kim?
Absolutely. They are very, very similar, but different. That's all.
Right. So we're going to get into the first one, and I'm going to start because most of the people who have PTSD, it is that trauma to our root system, that we're no longer in the moment rooted into we are allowed to be, right? And so that breath is known as the box breath. So Kim, she's going to demonstrate that box breath.
Okay, so a box breath is typically done on a 4 count. You can do it on a 6 count, but start at 4. You're going to inhale on a count of 4 through your mouth. You're going to hold the breath for 4. You're going to exhale the breath for 4. And you're going to hold the breath for 4. You will sometimes hear an instructor say, hold it to the top of the breath, hold it to the bottom. And that just means as you inhale to the top and then exhale to the bottom. So you'll hear it that way as well. Your fingers are great counters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can also just keep your hand down and just tap your thigh. This is a really nice one down at your side, because if you're at a table, you're at the movie theaters, you're in traffic, you can tap your little steering wheel for 4 counts, and that will keep you in count. Some people close their eyes when they breathe. You have to learn how to regulate your own body. I wouldn't suggest closing your eyes if you're driving, but if you can shut your eyes to close the world out, you are just breathing in. Closing your eyes is a great tool as well. And you can add that to any of the breaths. So demonstration of the box breath for the root chakra. Intention. I'm grounding in. I have the right to be here at this moment, regardless of what's happening. So I take my 4. I'm going to count here in the camera so you guys can see. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knowing, though, that normally I'd be on my thigh. Okay. So I'm going to do it here in the camera just so you can see. So you're going to inhale for 4. So you're going to go. And then you're going to hold it to the top. And then you're going to exhale. And you're going to hold it at the bottom. You're going to inhale again. That's your box breath. Some people use their hands. Some people go like this. As you can see and hear in my voice, once you start that breathing and you take it nice and slow on the counts and you hold it, your whole being just calms down. Your voice calms down. You smile more and you can see through the red, so to speak. And that would be your root chakra box breath. Ooh, I'm all calm.
Yeah. So you must have had a licking band of, Debbie doing Hilton Head there, because you kind of faded in. Can you just without?
Oh, sorry.
No, you'll see if you ever play it back, but it got really fuzzy on us. And I think it's just because of you're in that beautiful Debbie. Mm-hmm.
I heard Debbie did Florida really well. So we're expecting her to do just as good a job here in Hilton Head.
Debbie did do Florida. We got her already.
That's what I heard. Yeah, she's calm. Yeah.
So I want you just to, without talking now, do that breath because we can see
sure.
you beautiful right now.
Oh, sure.
There you have it. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
So just knowing that balancing that of our root chakra can also help us feel just more connected to Mother Earth, if I didn't say it, and your surroundings. And it can increase your attachment to yourself and your home. So if there is problems going on, that is probably the easiest one to remember, right? I mean, can we all agree that that's probably the easiest one?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, I have taken notes here so I don't misinform anybody. Let me just go to the sacral. The sacral is our second chakra. It's our womb area. And our womb areas, we are allowed to speak. We're allowed to do. And so sometimes with word, not so much our throat, it's more developed as children when we grow. That's how this is developed. About 6 months old, Kim. Am I right?
Yeah.
The sacral?
Yeah, 6 0. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that being said, some say that rhythmic breathing for our sacral chakra represents the inhaling, exhaling through our left nostril while closing the right nostril with the first 2 fingers on the right hand for 8 to 10 breaths. Now, when we do that, that's going to increase the awareness in our womb area, right? For whatever trauma that maybe our womb area have. I know there's some PTSD women. I understand. I completely understand the trauma of women in the military with that sacral root chakra. It is, it's something that we have to let go of. So this technique that Miss Kim's going to explain may help you there. Now we're blurry again, Kimmy. So we're going to hear you talk. And if we can't, we're going to do that breath a little bit after.
Okay. Let's just ask Debbie to calm down right now.
Yeah. You calm down, Debbie.
Calm down, Debbie. That's right. We're not seeing red, Debbie. We're seeing, blues and yellows. Okay. So the sacral chakra. You're going to close your right nostril, whether you do it with your pinky or your finger is either one, doesn't matter. So because we're mirrored images, I am closing my right, but when I look at my picture, it looks like I'm on my left, just so you know that you're flip-flop. So if I do this, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's your right side. So this is my right. But when you're looking at me, it looks like I'm on my left. So you're going to close your right nostril. You're going to breathe in and out through your left nostril, and you're going to do that 8 to 10 reps. Okay. As slow as you can do this, that's what you want to do, right? We're trying to calm down. If we try to breathe really fast, you're going to end up with a paper bag somewhere. So just make sure that you do it nice and calm. So you close the right one first, and you breathe in and out. My body automatically closes my eyes because I end up getting into a serene. So that was 3 breaths. I'm just going to skip now. 7. And 8. Once you do your 8, check in with your body. How are we doing? Are we good on that side? Then you would go to the next side if time is good, or if you've just reconnected and you're like, whoa, I can talk now, then you don't have to go back over and do your left. But it is a balancing. So close your left and then breathe through your right. Same amount. Like I am visually distracted as well as going within. So I tend to close my eyes immediately when I do any of these breaths. Not necessary. Let your body do what it wants to do. All right. Sitting in the dentist's chair, waiting at the eye appointment, wherever you are, and you start to breathe, you can just let your body go. And if your body closes its eyes, the better, because now you're going within. So that's your sacral.
All right. So sacral, again, would be trauma to our womb area. Anything within our womb, our uterus, our bladders, our urethras, our genitals, those right there, this is that breath that we should be taking to try to understand more about where our trauma sits in our bodies. That makes sense, everybody? Yes.
Yeah.
Give me thumbs up if it's a yeah, that girl. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to do one more and then we're going to have to go to break. So we're going to do the next one. And the next one that we're going to do is our solar plex. That's our breadbasket, folks. That's where all of our skeletons lie. That's where most of our traumas lie. That's where most of people get it. How will you know? Well, one of the biggest things here you're going to know is because you'll have some type of metaphysical and physical attribute. You'll have ulcers in your stomach. You'll have Williams disease. You'll have IBS. You'll have any type of stomach problem that causes you vomiting or diarrhea. And it's going to be about the trauma that you're going through. They're not going to be able to find anything else that's causing it. So that means we have to look at the metaphysical. How are we reacting to the situation, so on and so forth. But for the breathing, if you have any of these stomach traumas, this is called the cobra breath. Now, with the cobra breath, there are several different ways of cobra breath for our solar plexus. So some people will tell you have to lie face down, which Kim can't do right now to show you that. So, but yeah, so if you're going to do a cobra breath or the cobra pose with the cobra breath, the cobra pose, she's going to show you the cobra breath. But if you truly are that like go-getter, you go-getters, the cobra pose. So you're going to lie face down with your legs and feet close together, forehead on the ground, the palms on the floor next to your chest. Inhale deeply while pressing your belly button into the floor, lifting your head and chest. Hold the pose and breathe the cobra breath. And we're going to show you the cobra breath. If you want the cobra pose, go under yogis, and then you can see that cobra pose. But Kimmy, show us that cobra breath, please, and tell us about it.
Okay. So our solar plexus is our right to act. We have that right to be, we have that right to feel, and then we have the right to act upon those feelings, which then the breath then is in through your nose and out through your mouth aggressively. The cobra breath itself is like the creates the Ark of the Covenant, which is also up into our third eye as well. So either one you can do. The tongue is at the roof of your mouth. So I'm going to have to come closer so you can see this. This speech therapist in me. Where's my camera? Here we go. So if you can suck that tongue up on the roof of your mouth, and your body is like tightened. So if you're down on your body and you're pulling that cobra up, your body is like that. You're going to inhale through your mouth. You're going to exhale, keeping a smile because we want to be happy. So the cobra breath is this way. And that's why I'm breathing, not you. That's your facial features are smile mode. There, see, it says smile.
Smile, I tell you, smile.
Yeah.
And you see, it even makes that hissing noise, just like a cobra would hiss. And that's how it got its name, the cobra, right? Okay, so that ends it with this. We are going to go to commercial. Let's see who we're going to do today, folks. Oh, we're going to do Lady Liberty. Noelle, many blessings. I know you had major surgery with your heart there. I'm my girlfriend, and many blessings. And I know you're on the upswing, so more blessings your way. Let's go to commercial. We'll be right back. This cave is a one-stop shop to heal whatever ails you. whether you just need downtime, whether you need respiratory or lymphatic, blood pressures, just any type of program that is medically necessary to you, I am sure salt's going to play one of those factors. I mean, we use saline for our eyes, we use salt water for our ears, we gargle with salt water for when we have sore throats, and we're even putting salt water spray, nasal sprays by our doctors up our nose. Except most of these things that are by our big pharma or our doctors are actually not salts, like Epsom salt. It's not even a salt. This is true to form. We're not kidding anybody. The properties are what they are. You can look it up in science magazines, health magazines. Himalayan salt is the only salt you want. You can digest it, you can eat it, burn it, you can lay in it like tub baths. You can use the actual steams with all the minerals so that you can actually put those minerals back in our skin and our face over hot steamy water. Salt, when you put the light on, sometimes they sweat and sometimes they water. Oh my gosh, my rock is leaking water. And that is the most perfect rock. I always tell everybody, I want that rock back. Because 1 out of every 100 rocks might sweat. And that's, it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It just means it's that much better. It's just that much better, right? Because we don't do negatives here. We do anything that's positive, that's what we do. Except our ions, we have to keep our ions negative. Why? Because the negative ion in the density of the salt creates our body to be a higher in pH balance, right? So that's the goal. Our goal is to raise our body in pH, lower the acidity level, because then we all become healthy. Healthy like weight, healthy like bacterias, viruses, fungus, none of them can penetrate. So that's the cool thing about our salt. So why not take a seat and get every amount of healing that your body can actually have for 1 hour in the salt cave. Let's get healthy together.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the...
Okay, so I have to backtrack because Kimmy made a comment and I should have just let her do this thing. So the cobra breath, okay. She's right. So the cobra breath is the third eye. It's here. It's the tongue and roof and smiling, because that's the kundalini. I got myself screwed up. So I got my handy dandy notes out, and on my handy dandy notes that MJ screwed up. So we're going to go back to the solar plex so we can just make that the solar plex. It's inhaling passively through quick exhale, sharply pulling your belly back toward your spine. That's
there
the
you
one.
Go.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
right.
So I would take it,
That's
even
okay.
though Debbie has you blanked out there. Let's try to do this again. So
Sorry.
anyhow, welcome back. I forgot. You're talking here with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. I am MJ. This is Kim. We are on MBR Radio, which is all over Roku, all over Fire Stick, all over Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can find us anywhere. There's my plug. There you go. Now let's go back, Kim. Let's do the this breathing technique.
Yeah. So it's slow in through your nose, both nostrils. That's your passively, right? Get it passively in. And then you want to aggressively make that audible sound out. And then you can't see there, but your solar plexus goes back into your spine. So you'll hear yogis do this a lot when they're going into meditation, when they'll breathe. And then when we say exhale, you'll hear them go. So that's actually the solar plexus.
Now, is that verbal, that exhale? Because there's some breath works that do audible sounds like that, like to get that out.
Yeah.
That's
so
to leave aggressions out.
Yeah, that's an aggressive. That is getting all those. We're going to see that in the lion's breath, and actually the cobra breath when it makes that sound. So it's your voice being turned on as versus your voice being turned off. Your speech people out there. So when it goes through, it makes that audible sound. So that's that aggressive. You'll hear kids do that. Kids will naturally do that. When they get frustrated, they'll be like,
and they don't even know what they're doing. And
they don't even know. It's God-given.
Isn't that awesome? How
Yeah.
we just know in our Akashic cellular data library, they just know.
To use MJ's verbiage, man decided that aggressive voicing was incorrect. So,
right. Man again. Here we go. Man. man.
Or woman. It doesn't matter.
No. Yeah. It meant human.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you're
yes.
a human,
yes.
then you are part of the equation of judgment and ego.
Right.
Dude, you're human.
Right. So why don't we just add the word kind to humankind and be kind to everyone?
Hey, see that? And that's in every religion and denomination there is, being kind. Right? There you go.
Kind to the human.
There's your flip. There's your positivity. Right.
Boom, baby. Boom.
Humankind. Oh, it's a love. I'm going to start with that one, Kim. Thanks for that.
You're so
all you out there.
So
all you out there, we're going to have that one.
That's right.
Okay, now that I straightened that debacle up, we're going to go to our heart, because most of our sorrowful, emotional, depressing, that comes from our heart. That comes from those 12 petals that we have to heal in order for us to be heart conscious. And when we're heart conscious, that's always a positive, love, blessing conscious, right? So we have to heal that. So in doing that, I have here that we're going to breathe through our mouth, out through our nose. Yes. Okay. Take it away, Kim.
Okay, exactly. Our heart. It is our right to love and to be loved. Please don't misinterpret the word love. It does not mean sexual. It does not mean you have to have a partner. Love is love. We just watched Bob Marley's movie again, One Love. It means love for one another. The Olympics right now are such a great way to show that. When someone from another country goes down and another country comes in and picks them up, that is love. So when we look at our heart chakra and it's the right to love and to be loved, that's the unconditional love we're talking about for all people, regardless. And I want to go further in saying it's love for all living things. So plants, animals, sky, water, dirt, ether, all the 5 elements. So I just wanted to plug that in there so that people don't think that this right to love for the heart, we're only breathing because we want our partner to love us or our children to love us or our boss to love us. It goes way beyond that. So, all right. So the heart is in through the mouth and out through the nose. So typically it's reverse. When you're runners, right, you go through your nose and out your mouth. And this is the reverse. We're going to breathe through our mouth and out our nose. And again, let your body take over. If you want to close your eyes, you want to use your hands, you want to move while you're breathing, it's all good. It's all good. So in through your mouth, out through your nose. There you have it.
That's nice. So let me ask you, does it matter the mouth, how open a mouth is during these breathings?
Yeah. I personally don't think so. It was not taught to me that you have to open your mouth wide, or specifically like the smile for the cobra, you definitely do. And the lion's breath, you have to roar. But other than that, it's your body. If your body needs more, I saw a swimmer yesterday, Husk, Huske.
Yeah.
And she had her mouth. Yeah. And they said that they got ready by the yawn breath. So whatever fits, whatever moves you, right? This is all about being peaceful and getting out of the red zone. This is all about coming back to center. So, you be you, boo. It's you do your body. If you need more breath through your mouth, then you open it. Right.
Right.
Good question.
Yeah. Okay. So that was our heart, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My heart, we love you. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go to our throat. So our throat chakra, especially in the military, our throat chakra is one of those that gets thwarted. And if we were thwarted with our throat chakra as a inner child, in other words, you child, you are here to listen and not speak, or you are never allowed to speak your opinion. This started at a younger age. Now, if you went into the military and your sergeant's like, I didn't ask you to speak, ma'am. I didn't ask you to speak, and they're yelling that you're not allowed to speak. Wow. Now here we are. This throat chakra needs a lot of healing, right? Yeah. And if you're not in the military, but you are in a business or you're working for somebody and they constantly don't want to hear your ideas or your thought patterns or your emotions of how you feel, that's thwarting this as well, this beautiful throat chakra that we have. And it's our right to speak. We speak. Now we have to remember, when we speak, it's going to determine our outcome. Are we speaking with loving words? Are we speaking with kind words, right? How is our tone? This was hard for me. A very militant Capricorn, goal-oriented MJ. This was really hard for me to calm down. And you hear me on the thing going, woo, MJ, I'm tapping, I'm breathing, because my words want to say something else. And where is that caused from? Ego. And where was this conditioned from? Man. How was it conditioned from, man? By my inner child growing up, my parents, my society, my ancestral line, my government, my communities, my social peers. This is how this is contained. So now we're breaking that pattern, right? I love this here, this breath, this area, because this is really where MJ had to really muster down that ego and kick its butt to not allow that type of temperament. So when we're in our throat, we're going to do 3 sniffs up our nose, and then we're going to 3 exhales out the mouth. It's called the lion's breath. So go ahead, Kim.
Excellent. I love how you said that. Remember, too, the throat chakra doesn't just mean words. It is our body language. So the throat chakra, our right to speak, is also nonverbal, and it also does our written communication.
So the Tom Turkey? Is that it?
Yeah,
that's about Tom Turkey. I'm going to kick your ass.
That's right. The peacock, right. Yeah, it's all of that. Yeah, it's all of that. Nonverbal, it's text messaging, it's emailing, right? Again, man created all those emojis because sometimes our words needed more help. And so we are loading up our text messages with the emojis. So remember, it's nonverbal as well, both written and nonverbal body language as well. Okay, so 3 sniffs in through our nose, 3 exhales out through our mouth. I tend to pause longer on my 3rd inhale, and I tend to pause longer on my 3rd exhale out. It's like breathing in and then breathing out. The lion's breath is the comical one. So it is, your voice is going to be turned on and you're going to want to sound like the lion's roar. Again, it's man's interpretation of the lion's roar, but you're going to inhale through your nose. You're going to open your eyes wide, like as wide as you can. Your mouth is going to be wide open in this exaggeration. You're going to stick your tongue out as far as you can. And you're audibly going to roar on your exhale, all right, like a lion's roar. So that would be the lion's breath. So, and that would be your lion's breath.
I laughed hard then, and I'm going to laugh hard now.
Yeah.
I love it. And let me tell you, if you start to laugh when you do it, you're releasing that many more endorphins. The
Absolutely.
minute you smile, you're already catching that anger, emotional red because you're smiling. And so, the first time I ever watched her, I had to video her. I was like, I need to video. In case I ever, because it was just out of the blue, and I love it. Just do it one more time. Just do it one more time.
Okay.
I'm like Sheldon Cooper. Do it one more time. Do it one more time. Okay, and I know I'm laughing, but it really does work.
It does.
Because
It does.
it turns you into that next balance, that next moment. So yeah, I love that.
I want to also just caution for the listeners too, the 3 breaths in and the 3 breaths out. Okay. When you're doing the lion's roar, you're not actually breathing 3 out. So if you're in a public domain, you kind of don't want to do the lion's roar. I mean, I guess you want to if you're really like, like that. But if you don't, you're just doing those 3 breaths. But if you need more in that area, then the lion's breath is for you. Yeah, go to the bathroom.
We're going to take a really short one. You're listening to MBR Radio, and you're listening to this really quick. We're going to take a really quick break so that we can finish out the hour. And then when we come back, we're going to do the last 2. We're going to do the third eye, and we're going to do the crown. We actually already did the third eye, so that will be that will be really quick. But let's go take it with who we're going to do. Oh, Was Once by Logan Rath, and then we'll have the countdown bumper, and then we'll be right back. Listen to MBR Radio. This is MJ with guest Kim Maly, and you're on the World of Conscious Positive Thinking.
Consequence, so wonderful to see you again. You've not shown your face around here since the last time I was in too deep. Now I've been struggling to sleep. I have to blame that on what I have created. Always with women or drinks, some repetition of things. And that's a tired old cliche, but that does not mean that it ain't the truth. 'Cause I've been absent from you and I've never felt less careful. Need my father, my mother, even my brother to say, you gotta get your act together, do not rewrite the days. You can still be productive, you know, without all the hate. Just need to remember who you once were. And I once was quick on the draw, and I once did admit all my flaws. I once was an honest man, and I held your hand when you had it bad. And I once was fresh like the sand. My hip moved steady, honey, so did my hands. I once was blessed and true till the day that I lost you. Goodbye meaning, I've been searching too hard to find you now. Like some bone in the yard, and I'll keep digging, but only when I have the time. 'Cause this world's been moving quickly, too much rhythm and rhyme. And sometimes you just gotta do what makes you feel good. And remember all those nights that you still understood how to be free, how to answer to no one, how to trust like a lover, how to lie like a son. You say this world has got you down, well honey, welcome to the club. I can hardly save enough money to go and see those I love. And we've all but found it, but we're still out of touch. I know we've lost hope a bit, baby, but I hope not too much. 'Cause we once were thicker than thieves, and we once were so much easier to please. And we once were alive on the tracks when the wheels came down. You know, I had your back. And we once were younger than now, and we once were all still just plotting it out. We once ran circles round squares just for fun. We were louder then with what we gave up.
opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions.
Hello, we're back. Here, Cobra.
Yeah. Stick your tongue out. Yeah. There you go. That was it.
It makes you just laugh. Where's that? No wonder. Who was it? Kiss.
Oh yes, Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley.
Exactly. Little tongue.
Right.
Yeah.
He was always sticking his tongue out for his throat chakra to come open.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Laughter is the best medicine.
Now we get Kiss. Now we get
Exactly.
So they could sing, and they could sing with all kind of beautiful measurements. There he was.
That's right. Detroit Rock City, man.
Yeah, there you go. For all you 70s babies out there in 80s. There you go. Okay. So we already did the cobra breath. So the third eye chakra. This is our intuitive mind. This is where we just know. It's like you already know. Military people, you knew not to go in some of those holes, right? You knew not to go that way. You had to go left, even though that the energy was kind of, you're like, something's not right. And so you changed your mind, right? That's your intuitive gift. That's your third eye. That is the blessings of you Templars and you angels out there. That is how you saved your life because it was not the right way. And this breath will help you release those endorphins, knowing that when you make a decision through your third eye, the all-knowing intuitiveness, that you're on the right money, right? And this is how I perceive it, and this is how I understand it to be. And that's that cobra breath that Kimmy was showing us a little earlier when I fudged the little thing and told you it was in our solar plexus, and it wasn't. But this is the intuitive breath here. And for all of you who want to help release the love hormone or the kundalini or the oxytocin levels, this is exactly how it is. You on that cobra pose again and the breath. Kimmy's going to show you that cobra breath one more time, Kim, one more time, so we all know.
Real quick, and that the also our third eye is also our right to see, and so we have the right to see all where the cobra comes up, right? And the cobra can see everything. They're in that position to see it all. That's where they get there from. So tongue is up on the roof of your, up on the roof. You can suck it in there. You inhale with a big smile, right? Because we want to smile. And you give off that beautiful, pleasing, hiss. If you have a rattle on your tongue, you could do the rattle too.
You instrument players out there who has that vibrato with the tongue.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what she's talking.
Oh, yeah.
You're taught that with flutes and clarinets and trumpets to get that tongue. And it just vibrates. It's called vibrato in music when you're intoning into the air pockets.
Yeah. I wonder if that's basic. I don't know about the cobra itself, but the rattlesnake's tail in the same regard.
Yeah. The rattles
popped in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would because, but I'm going to go with either one of those are very fearful, Kimmy. They're very people who fear snakes, and then know that the cobra and the diamondback, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Yeah. I mean, they're very venomous, very deadly snakes. So we can either flip that fear pattern to say, exactly, I want this energy gone.
Yeah.
See how you flip that to positive?
Yeah.
Because you sit here going, why not? I'm fearing that snake. I don't like that noise. And you're like, okay, but flip it.
Yeah.
Right? That is, we're cutting that energy. We're cutting that thought pattern completely gone.
Yeah.
And that's what that does.
Yeah. One of our students, Carmen, her husband told me the last time I was there in April that our physical bodies are very close to the snake. And I was just like blown away with that. Yeah. And he was talking about the scales and our skin and how we can move and how we can slip. I was blown away. Yeah.
Yeah. It actually is one of those, thought process that if you actually look, our kundalini, our spine is the serpent.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
so we're close to the snake.
we do have to represent that very much as well, that kundalini or that snake image, because that is our spine. And that's what we release when we do this breath. And that's what we release to do the oxytocin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now here's another wow moment. Mind blow. Where is it? Wow. That's the mind blow. Wow. I'm not in full screen, but wow. Anyway.
That's right.
Mind blow. Wow. Look at the doctor's lapel pin.
Oh, yes.
A snake.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Here you go. It's the only mic I got right now. It's my ear picker.
Opinions expressed in this program.
I don't know why that came on. Because I dropped it, I guess.
We're supposed to stop on the third eye. That's why.
Okay. All right. Let's go to crown. Let's go. We're moving into crown. Right. That crown, we're going to breathe in through our nose and our tongue in the yogi position. And then we breathe out our mouth. It is the God's breath. This is the best breath to me right now. It makes, if you do it in a repetitiveness, it actually gives you a lightheadedness. So you need to be very careful because you're going to be astraling into a plane that your body might not be able to physically handle. This breath, if not done correctly, would be the same breath that somebody has anxiety and they're overdoing that breath. And then you're going to need a bag and you're going to need to calm down a little bit more. Calm down. Ready?
Yeah.
That word. We need to slow it down. We're not going to say calm.
Drop the tongue. That's right.
So go ahead.
Drop the
tongue. About the God breath.
The God breath, our crown. It is our right to know. We have the right to know all that is in front of us. This does not mean that we have the right to know secrecies or we have about others, prying upon others. It means we have the right to know everything within our realm, something that's going to happen to us. Okay, so the right to know, whether you get it as a download, whether you get it as that intuitive, gut instinct, that right to know is our crown. It is the God's breath. So that tongue is now going to be in a curled position. So you're going to trace. The easiest way to do it is to just trace the roof of your mouth from the front of your teeth all the way back. So it's rolled all the way back. So like you're going to roll it like a carpet. So it's back there. That position stays there. Okay. So during all this breath, that stays there. You're going to go in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Come on. Come. Show me you're doing it.
I'm good.
Now, the tongue in the back, you have to close off the back of the roof of your soft palate in order to breathe through your nose. For your speech people, you got to close the port in order for the hole to go into your lungs, and then you drop the port to open it up. And that tongue helps you do that on your soft palate. And the breath is all through your mouth. Most of the time we breathe out through the front of our teeth like that. This is through the whole mouth. Your whole mouth is coming out with that out breath. Yeah. Yeah. Whether or not you force it out audibly, depending on how red you're feeling at the moment, or it is a softer. If it starts red and audible, then try to close your eyes and get to a point where that out breath is quiet. Because that's the whole goal of all of these breaths, is to come back into quiet space so that you can think clearly and make conscious decisions that will move you forward. So that's the God breath.
So we're at the top of the hour, and because I have a special guest today, we get this extra half hour. So,
whoa,
no. So in your, because you've taught children, who have special needs with speech pathology and audiology, and that was your career before into this beautiful realm that we're in. What was some of the practices that helped the children ISO associate with that breathing? What was one of the most popular for you?
Basically, the breathing for the kids was the in through the nose and out through the mouth. I did not do the box breath for them. It was breathing in through the nose and out the mouth. That was more natural for them, especially the kids who got hysterical, the ones that were crying. We don't want to not let them cry, because crying is a release. However, the problem becomes is when children try to talk to you while they're crying, all communication is gone. And so we would simply just say, look, I know you're sad and I know you're crying, but I can't understand you. So take a breath. And now talk to me. And then they would talk, but he wouldn't play with me on the playground. And so at least you could hear them, right? At least you could understand them. He's not nice to me. So we could still talk. And I'm like, okay, so I get you're take a breath. Take another one. And a lot of the visuals for them. When we slow our breaths down and we slow down our voicing and we slow down our articulation, it puts all children into a relaxed mood. I'm not going to say that about all adults, because when adults get hijacked emotionally, it takes a little more time. Children don't know any different at that time because they haven't had an experience yet. I'll speed up my talking now. They haven't had that experience yet to understand that they can, stay in that moment, where adults typically have more of those emotional experiences. And then when they're hijacked, they're hijacked. And it's very, very hard for somebody to come out of those hijacked moments as an adult. I say get more arrows for your quiver, get more tools for your toolbox, get pictures that you can grab. I'm going to use the word blankie. I know Linus, that picture of Linus with his blankie, or the producers when he's got his little blue blankie, but anything that's going to get you to get into that reaction. They sell worry stone, thumb stones that you can stick in your pocket, that you can manipulate. Some of the kids like the silks and the tags. Get as many arrows in your quiver that you can possibly grab. Cotton balls, somebody from doTERRA, I want to say it was Neve, but they were talking about placing orange scents or a clove scent or a eucalyptus scent, a scent on a cotton ball. Keep it in a plastic baggie in somewhere, in your truck, in your purse, in your backpack. Keep it so that that's an arrow for your quiver. You can open it up and go, oh my gosh, aromatherapy, right? So lavender, which would be one. Your music, your Spotify's, I can't think of the P, Pandora's, get your list out. Those to me are all arrows. And so the children would use them. Squeeze balls. I had a whole basket of squeeze balls. There you go. Exactly. Open it up. Roll-ons.
You see me?
Absolute sniffies. Yes, sniffies.
I use sniffies, and
yes.
Rose, the best one, folks, for me and for a lot of the people to calm immediate is Rose de Mai.
Immediate.
It immediately stops it.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And again, the people, especially as adults, not so much kids, like I said, kids don't have the experiences that adults have. And so they look to the adults for direction and giving them the experience, where an adult may be like, push it out of your hand, like, out of there. That's not going to work for me in that regard. I mean, it's hard for an aroma, because then you want to spray them. You can just like a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was funny because I had Grizz and Joel and all of them who are doing the sound in my first several. And when I would you would hear me go, oh, MJ needs to take a break. MJ, I need to breathe. This is what I would do. And they're like, what are you sticking up your nose? And I go,
yes.
Well, this one was specially made by my other master, Miss Diana Khan. Mm-hmm. And I said, so that anytime I get that militant, determined, wrong and strong attitude, okay, just step back. I got to step back and I got to breathe. I got to breathe into it and step back going, really, let's process this. And I understand that the kids don't really have that frontal lobe. And what's sad, Miss Kim, is, some of our military family and our brothers and sisters of arms, they don't even have that frontal lobe. That frontal lobe is it's banded because it's not even developed in women until they're 25, and men, like, what is it now, 27, I believe. And so that cognitive mind thinking is just not there, which is all the trained and conditioned emotions that we go through as how we developed it from our family and our friends and our peers, right?
Right. What were we allowed to do as children? Right. So children will come in and they've been conditioned to react a certain way because they're going to get the effect at home, and they come into school with different teachers, different therapists, different human beings, different principals, and they try to do that exact same action, and they're not getting the same effect. And now they're just like, what the hell? It works at home. Like, what's going on?
Don't you all play along with this? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you'll hear them, because you'll hear the kids go, I want my mommy. I want to go home. Yeah. It's because at home they get a reaction they're looking for based on the
conditioned,
the cause, right? Cause,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Law of cause effect. And they've learned that very early on. So yeah.
That's fun. It's fun because you can see the dynamics of conditioned by man, right?
Correct.
And that's what I'm about, is finding the awareness. That is such, I always say, Miss Diana, that word, I said, with all the teachings, I said to be aware of the light, just the light, right? Or to be aware of the keyboard, or to be aware of that, like the awareness. When we are aware, it makes life going, wow, I got to step back. I got to calm down. I got to move myself away so I can be aware of all the dynamics that are playing out, so that, truly, where is it in my, now I have to breathe it through. Yeah.
Somebody, one of your listeners may ask, okay, so how do I prevent, right? Be proactive. We're talking about reactive situations, right? When we're in the red. So how do we be proactive? So MJ, I'm going to defer to you as the gemologist here, but for labradorite, for the longest time, I wore labradorite from my head to my toes, because that particular stone, proactive, it kept everything 6 feet away. And so it didn't matter where, as it was coming to me, that particular gemstone's vibration allowed me to see it. Proactive. Oh, here it comes. Let me start my breathing now. So I love that transition, because this whole show now has been about, today anyway, has been about being reactive, right? What do we do in the moment? Let's talk about now being proactive. What can I do prior to? It's like warming up the swimmers, right? They're like slapping and, they get the big jump.
Right.
That's
right.
Proactive.
And look, before you even go on stage, or before you come on, you're doing, sibilance. And test 1, 2. Getting our voice patterns and our lips to work with our brain at such an early hour.
Yes. You're going to go to the DMV. How can we be proactive before we go in there? Right? We're going to be going to a family reunion. How do we be proactive? Labradorite is a great one. The essential oils, like I said before, Mary uses MJ uses the rose, but orange, something citrusy, right? Will get you. Lavender is always very calming. People are like, oh, lavender I sleep with. Absolutely, you sure do. So don't use lavender. If you're a sleeper on lavender, I would not use lavender. But there's so many other ones. Yeah, be proactive, right? Those are now arrows for your quiver, tools for your toolbox. Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things to be proactive that I always tell people, when we calm down, it's probably, and when I had the crystal shop and I did all this, I was like, one of my best ones was called the Golden Healer's Quartz. It is truly one of my favorite. And it is, I mean, anytime I work on somebody, I make them put that Golden Healer's Quartz right. It's I forgot the name of it. It was right there. Darn you, Cobra. But anyway, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But it's part of the Golden Healer's Quartz family. And if you stick it within, it has a high iron. And so when you stick it into the heart, that iron brings down, so being proactive, if you know that you are PTSD, or you are hyper exposed to trauma, or that you have a lot of anxiety, Women, that bra, it's a stone holder. It's not a bra holder. It's a stone holder. Put that stone right there underneath your left chest. Men, you got jeans, that little pocket that is right above there where they want to say it's a watch pocket. Well, we don't know what that is anymore in this evolution. So Mr. Levi, we're going to use it as a stone pocket. And we're going to put that stone wherever the hardest is. And we're going to face it into us. So that is truly, I'm glad you brought stones up, Kimmy, because stones truly, people are like, frequencies, and they're like, stones don't work, but stones do work. If you know the frequency modular that you are deficient in, or somebody can help you know that you're deficient in. People don't believe me, but I banded my neck, my throat. I had thyroidism. Yeah. And between essential oil at the time and Crisco Cola, the Endoflex and the Crisco Cola, I would bind and layer for a whole year. And then I'd wear Crisco Cola all the time because the frequency of the Crisco Cola, being electromagnetic beings, I don't care what you say, we are, and it proves it in quantum physics. Sure. So it's not a hooky-tooky thing. Yeah. We are electromagnetic beings. Those stone frequencies heal that. Dr. Reif proves that. And that's why people are going more into it. So the stone frequencies that are all over the world, which we don't get to ground anymore because, we have so much concrete and buildings that we don't even get to ground ourselves. And that's sad. That's why when people say, oh, you got to go to the beach and you'll feel better. Yeah, because you're in bare feet. You're sucking in salt. Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing as the salt cave. When we went to the salt cave, it's very passive. It's grounding. It's 84 trace minerals. Yep. You can't do anything else there besides, I'm telling you, my PTSD vets, they love it. They love that cave. And I implore people, just get some stones. If you don't have a cave near you, go and get some Himalayan salt rocks, because you'll feel those frequencies really quick.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love that.
Proactive. Get a hematoid quartz. There it is.
I
knew it was in there. The Rolodexes just had to come. But it's called a hematoid quartz, or a golden healer's quartz. Is kind of the same thing. But the hematoid quartz, the hematoid has the iron. That's what I couldn't spit out. Hematoid quartz. So when you use those, or you even hold them, people who have Tourette's, if you hold those in your hands and you start that hiccup, it stops it. It's the most miracle stone you've ever want to hold. And people don't believe it, but it's true. Yeah. And it's just because of the frequencies that are banded within them to hold that.
Now, if we were on TikTok, Mary Jo, then that would be the new upcoming stone that everybody would go for.
Yeah. True that. True that. Exactly.
So add all those breaths that we just talked about, right? And the simplest, truly the simplest one is you breathe all the time. Add them. Yep. Just add all those breaths.
If something upsets you, you have to breathe into it. You have to. I just saw him here. I don't know where he went, but
he just walked behind you.
Did he walk by me? So my husband, my house, you can see my house. It is just tons of boxes everywhere right now because we're packing to move, and we have no idea where. We're just gypsies right now. Hopefully we're in West Virginia, but there has been a lot of trauma. If you're following our reality YouTube of Mojazi, you'll see, and we're sitting there breathing in those cameras. We're like, it's all good. It's all good, no matter what. And there's been a lot of setbacks. Maybe it's teaching me to breathe out more and follow the patterns wherever. It's not just a normal breath. So I have to remember all these different breathings. Where is this hitting me? Where is this pattern? You know, and then why is this a pattern? And so that breath work becomes into other modalities that Miss Kim teaches. Where's the pattern? This is okay. How many, just so you can follow. How many realtors now, have we gone through? How many houses that we've gone through getting right up to the very end and getting ripped out? We're like, what the hell? And then no matter where we talk to, our realtors are like, that never happens. Yeah. Well, it did. It is. So that means there's a pattern somewhere. That pattern needs to be fixed. Who is it? Is it me? Is it my husband? Is it the pattern within just the people that we had to meet in this life? Well, here we go. We don't know, right? We don't know where it is. But if we're the common denominator, then that pattern sits within me and it sits within my husband. Right. So we have to face reality. I can't just sit here and play a victim or a martyr and be angry. I had to breathe. I had to let it go. Breathe, breathe, breathe. So you could hear me on that react going, just breathe. It's okay. It's okay. Divine will always have your back. Divine. And that's Kim's teachings. Kim has really been able to flip this. And you can ask her, because not only is she my teacher in Hierophant, she's also my sister. And she watched me go from a militant person, and even in Vegas, just very strong. You were not going to tackle me.
Right.
And it was going to, I would take on the Rock of Gibraltar if I had to. I had no fear. And so my breathing became a very big part of my healing. Very big.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it work for everybody. Doesn't, you don't have to be a militant. You can work for anybody and children as well. Right. And they are teaching children now how to meditate in the classrooms as early as kindergarten. And I love the fact that they have decided statistically, I'm not sure. Man. But in this regard, they do it twice. They do it as soon as the kids come in the morning. So it's part of their morning routine. They go into a very quick. Now they're not yogas. They're not sitting in lotus position for 30 minutes. These little baby preschoolers and kindergartners are literally at their tables or their crisscross applesauce on the floor. And they're 3 breaths, three in the morning. Why? Well, because everybody's coming from their own houses. And I'm not making a general statement, because there are houses where that's very peaceful, but there's other times where the houses are just chaotic and the kids are coming in with the chaos. And so they need to come into some sort of form and balance to learn, right? Because you can't learn if you're hijacked. So they do it in the morning, and they also do it after recess, lunch recess time. Wow. There's a whole dynamic of social interactions going on with children. Talk about the youngsters, right? Who doesn't play with me? Who's not being nice to me? Who tripped me? I fell, or I'm having a great time. So after lunch recess, they come in and once again, they go into that balance of breath. And sometimes at the older levels, those breaths take on more of a 3-minute time. But at the preschool level, it's literally just lights are dim. Music is nice and playing. They breathe. Preschoolers get to sleep, right? They get to nap. But the older ones, it's just calm, bringing your central nervous system back, because you have a job now to do. And so I love that in the school systems. I cannot comment for every state. I can only comment on New Jersey because that's where I taught. But I would love to see that. As far as education goes, it's a ripple effect, right? Department of Education kind of takes one thing and they kind of just push it all the way across the country. But that would be the reasoning for breathing in the schools for children, because they need a way to come back. They need to be proactive. Yeah.
So, I find a lot, and I don't want it to be judgmental, but I find a lot of millennials, the word anxiety with them is insane. Every time you talk to somebody and they're in that millennial group, it's like, I have so much anxiety. I have so much. I go, why? Where is this labeling coming from? Why do we even have this word? This is like, I had that word thing. That should have been one of the words, anxiety. I mean, it's really, and maybe because I don't have it, I can't understand it, but I find that it's a mislabeling. Do you find that anxiety is being mislabeled?
Yeah, without stepping on anybody's toes out there.
No, I don't mean it to be. I'm questioning because every single person who is under the age of like 35 or 40 tends to have anxiety.
Right. Well, the word anxiety, let's just go with words, right? Words, tones. So I talk about the breath. When they talk about meditation and they talk about breathing, anxiety, whether it's because it starts with an A and it's the top of the alphabet, it is one of the first words that is said to these techniques help. Anxiety. And then they go into depression, which is a D word, right? But A is the one they hang on to. And typically you hang on to that first word that you have. And I think that those kids, I truly believe in my heart, those kids heard the word anxiety over and over and over and over and over again. back in the day, it was ADHD. I mean, we were like, all these kids cannot be ADHD. They just cannot. They just can't be. There's got to be some reason, or central auditory processing disorder. Oh, come on, people. That was like the label of the
There
decade.
could be let's go parenting. I'm just saying.
Nobody wants to
parent. They want to be a good friend.
Okay, it's not that they don't want to parent either. Growing up, obviously, Mary, right? The 70s and 80s, right? It was when the government, society decided parents could no longer discipline their kids. Let's just use the word discipline. All right. Okay. Because discipline as a general became such a horrific thing because they only saw the abuse of that discipline. And so they said no more. So the paddles came out of, the schools districts, right? They all came out. No more. You cannot, no more. But they never told the parents what they could do. They never said, you can no longer. Right. No, they didn't. They left it for the school systems to handle. And the school systems were just like, okay, well, we can't do this anymore. So the school systems became very creative and they developed behavioral modification classroom settings. But if you don't have a degree or you're not in a school setting, the general parent, they were at their wits' end. They didn't know what to do. And so they didn't really do anything. They stuck the kids in front of the TV. They stuck the kids in front of a computer. They gave the kids, right, whatever they wanted. The tantrum on the floor at the grocery store, and then they handed them a bag. And again, I'm not blaming them. Society didn't give them any tools to help awareness. Them.
Right? We're making an awareness of how it played out.
Correct. And so now you have all these kids that parents did not know how to discipline them. I always recommend 1, 2, 3 Magic. That's the one that came through the school systems when my kids were little. And I love that because it disciplined them. It gave them the sense of what their action was, right? Our BCBAs always talk about behaviors. Do not talk about the child. Talk about the behaviors. And same with the PTSDs and the people who get emotionally hijacked. Talk about behavior. Because if you start talking about the individual, then you run the risk of anxiety, right? You run the risk of I'm not good enough. And so talk about the behaviors. This behavior is not appropriate for this time. And that's a 1. Because I told you, it's not appropriate. You're doing the wrong thing in this environment. And then they have a choice. They can either listen to you and change their behavior, or they don't. They do the exact same thing, and then that would be a 2, right? Because I already told you why it was inappropriate, but I'm not talking to you anymore. That's a 2. And now they have another choice, right? It's all about choices. They have a choice. They can either do it again, right? Or they can change the behavior. And some of the kids do the exact same thing. Well, then that's 3. I gave you 3 strikes, baseball. 3 strikes, you're out. 3 strikes, take 5. And there's a non-verbal. That's the other thing with parenting. A lot of parents want to talk to them. Oh, they talk to them like they're little adults, and they're not. They're children, and they need experiences. So 1, 2, 3, take 5, go think about it. And you don't talk. It's just your behavior is not appropriate. But again, a lot of parents don't know that. Now it's restorative justice is in the school system. So the schools are trying. I would say to your parents, go to your teachers and find out what their classroom behavioral modification program is. Go to your guidance counselors, parents, if you are at your wit's end and you do have one of your beloved children that are not listening. Go to them and ask them. Consistency is another thing. You have to be consistent. You can't say it and not do it. How many times have you been at the restaurant where you hear the parents, if you don't be quiet, we're going home. If you don't be quiet, we're going home. If you don't be quiet, you're going home. If you don't be quiet, 18 times later, they're still eating. And so the kids are like, well, I have no idea. So
they're just talking rubbish.
They're just talking rubbish.
Don't worry with them.
Right.
Right. And then when they get to be 15, 16 years old, they're like, yeah, we got like 10 more tries before they blow up. Don't worry. Exactly. Or they'll just give up. Or they'll just give up.
They get the kid crying, I want my mommy. Yeah. I want to go home. I
So,
want my
but
mom.
unfortunately,
Because
these are the
mom
patterns.
and
Right,
home
but these are the patterns, Kimmy, that now we
are-
face
yeah.
as young adults, 18 to 25, going into the military. These are the same types of now patterns that get our young soldiers in trouble, get our, and it's, it is, when I tell people you are governed by man's
Conditions.
rules, right? But you're also governed by man and their conditions of their rules, whether you were taught them or not. So here's the awareness. What were you taught? How were you taught? Is it just within your family unit, in your circle, in your society, in your social peers? Is it just there? Or how does this rule encompass? Then I look at the bigger picture, especially because of being in the military, and you're like, well, every state governs their own rules anyway. Let's just take the topic of taxes, right? There are some states that you got to pay state tax and federal tax. State of Florida, I only pay federal tax. Now I'm taxed to death on every freaking thing that I do, including my breath, but I don't pay the state tax at the end of the year. So you see
we just found out there's an exit tax in Jersey. If I went to leave New Jersey now, I would have to pay an exit tax to New Jersey to leave, even if I sold my house.
But, oh my God. So you're tax upon tax upon tax upon tax upon tax. Now here you go. I gotta breathe. That is just in the pit of my stomach to hear that. So now I'm gonna breathe it through, going, it is what it is. And if I don't like it, then I don't leave. If I don't like it, then I pay it, and I don't have to come back to this. I mean, there's only two choices.
I gotta change it. I got to learn how to play the game like the 1%. Let me learn how. Let me learn how to play the game. There's got to be a game rule somewhere that I need to learn. There's no manual, right? Because it's all hidden within all of the little legal terminology, but the rules are out there and we just have to learn how to play it. Got to learn how to play. Play the game.
So we're down to our last 2 minutes. I'm going to step back and let Kimmy just give her and who she is, where she is at, in case anybody wants to reach in any of her modalities that she has. And we're going to round out this breathe, just breathe.
Okay. So thank you so much for having me on. This was really fun. And I always enjoy talking to you. You know this, MJ. We can talk for hours and hours and hours, but I enjoyed it. So thank you very much. I currently am on vacation. So if you want to get a hold of me, I'm kindly ask that you email me at goingtokims@gmail.com this week, because I am on vacation. After this week, you can reach me at 201-615-8317. My website is goingtokims.com. I believe you can still get me at goingtokims.org as well. Oh, yeah, it's down in the ticker. There you go. All right, I see it right there. So you can see me there. I do one-on-ones for pattern clearings. So if you have those patterns that we were talking about and you're just like, why am I here again? Or Aunt Flo had it and Uncle Joe had it. Like, we all have these patterns that are there. Then you can set up an appointment and we can look to see. Again, I will tell you this too. I cannot help everyone. All right. Divine will bring you to me. And if I cannot help you, then I will send you to somebody else who can. I just want to make that clear, right? I'm not, it's like one size does not fit all. Okay. So in that regard, I am in Florida periodically throughout the year. I'm teaching the classes down there, the Reiki light therapy classes, which are 12 levels, the chakra classes, and a pendulum usage class. So I do teach those while I'm down there. And I think that's it. I think I covered it all. Website, teaching.
There's guided meditations online as well.
Oh, the guided meditations. Yeah. Yeah. Those are fun. Yeah. So
takes you where the core of your being. So it is at it's an hour and a half here. We got to run.
Love you.
MBR Radio. My name is MJ. You're listening to the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. Thank you, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're all there. We'll see you next Monday at 10 a.m. MBR Radio. Thank you so much to our vets and our brothers of arms.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Kim, for being here.
You're so welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, Be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in